Stretchable pleather, such as this, will be used to create the cape. The material is typically sold by the yard, so I purchased 5 to 6 yards to ensure I had enough to complete the cape in its entirety. This is the first component of the suit where a 3D printer will not be used. This will document the process for creating one panel of the cape, which can then be traced to create the other panels. We begin by laying the material out on the floor. I'm about 6 feet tall, so I'll start by creating a Sharpie mark 6 feet from the end of the material. The measuring tape will be used to trace a line from the marked spot to the opposite corner of the material. After the line is drawn, the material will be cut with scissors. After the material has been cut, the top corner is folded over itself so the material is flush with the newly cut line. As previously stated, from this folded edge to the tip of the triangle is measured as 6 feet. The side closest to me will measure slightly longer. However, it should be cut to measure the same length as the folded edge. The measuring tape will be used to measure 6 feet from the tip of the triangle and marked with a Sharpie. Once marked, the material should be cut between the Sharpie mark and the corner of the folded material. After being cut, the material is folded over itself again. Once folded, a Sharpie mark is made 6 inches from the bottom edge of the folded cloth. The material will be cut on an arc from the Sharpie point to the opposite bottom edge, leaving about an inch width from the corner of the cloth. As you can see, the semicircle has been cut and about an inch of material remains at the bottom corner. The material can be unfolded to review one complete panel of the cape. The panel will be retraced on the remaining material to create a total of 5 panels. Each of these panels will be sewn together to create one large piece of material. As you can see, all the panels have been cut and sewn together. 1, 2, 3, 4 panels were sewn together in total. 4 panels ended up providing a big enough cape, so the 5th panel was not needed. I'm going to go over how I ended up sewing the panels together. So each panel should be relatively the same size, so that when they're laid across each other, they should match up almost perfectly. So I'm going to use these 2 pieces of scrap to kind of demonstrate what I did. So the first piece, you're going to want to lay your pleather side up, and then you're going to want to take your second piece and lay the pleather side down on it. And then this, along this edge, is what you're going to sew. And eventually, once it's sewn, it will almost appear as one panel. So this is the actual cape after it's sewn, and you can see that there are 4 different panels put together. I decided to only use 4 because I thought the cape was big enough with 4. I didn't need the 5th one. And if you see, you can look at the hem on the other side. This is how they're put together, and they almost appear as one piece, especially when they're not taut. I used a zigzag pattern for the sewing. I just used a regular sewing machine. I had nothing special. There was no stretch stitch or anything. And I made sure that when I drew it through, I kept kind of a strain on the material to make sure it doesn't bundle up. So this worked really well for me. Obviously, you can change stuff as you go along or if you find a better way to do it, but just wanted to share that aspect of it. Now that we have our cape laid out, we are going to attach it to the neck piece. And we're going to attach it right here and right here via some magnets. So what we're gonna want to do is take a bowl and put it up to the cape, and I'm going to take a Sharpie here, and I'm just going to lightly trace approximately where to cut. And so I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to install magnets on the end here, and then the other end of the magnets are going to be installed on the neck piece, and that is how we're going to attach the cape. Alright, as you can see, the cape has been cut and stitched, and the magnets have been added. I added one end of the magnet to the corners like I said I was going to, and I put a little bit of foam on the end here so it doesn't stretch too much on the cape. I also ended up putting a magnet in the middle because when I put the cape on I was getting a lot of stretch and I just wanted to relieve some of the tension on the seams, so I decided to add a third magnet right here. So those are the magnets on the cape. The magnets that I installed on the neck piece, this is where one of the top magnets connect on the cape, and then this is that middle magnet, and this piece right here covers up, as you can see on this side, it covers up the connections of the cape. I'm going to take this off so you can see how things get connected. We're going to make sure that this one is connected first. Okay. And the cape will go under that piece, connect up front right here, and the other piece will go under that piece and connect up front right there. So you can see the connections right here, and then these pieces sometimes are a little difficult to connect, but they will go across like this, and the other one will go like this. So when you get it, it's a pretty seamless connection, and eventually I will have shoulder pads that go right here that this cape drapes over, but it's pretty easy. It's pretty nice that you don't have to see the direct connections of the cape on here. So that's how I connected it.
Well, that's it for this portion of the build. If you liked what you saw, please give my video a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. Thank you, and until next time.